right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 442 podcast. I'm your host for the day and joined by the lovely Tony. Oh, how are you doing today, Tony?
I'm good. I just realized we don't get the word of the week, huh? Since
that's above my pay grade, man. Yeah.
Since he's still on hiatus, yeah. Don't want to go through
with
dictionary, I guess. I was gonna say.
Yeah, with Uzi on a break, yeah, we're gonna have to hope maybe he's coming up with some gems right now during this time, and he's just gonna hit you when he comes back with some beauties, some new vocab, or it could just be welcome to what I just said, the lovely Tony O. So it could just be that.
Some people go on their trips, they get sun, they come back relaxed, refreshed, and then there's Arsenal who go on their trips and rip their hamstrings for the season. So yeah, there is that. But
good old Kai Havertz getting injured. Yeah, on vacation. Yeah. That's okay though, because Arsenal signed a bunch of players over the January transfer window, so they're good. They got replacements.
I know.
Yeah. All's fine.
Yeah. But, one said replacement. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
I would love to go on a sunny vacation after the snowstorm that we got last day. It would be nice. Yeah. It would be really nice, unfortunately.
Yeah, still some shoveling to be done, sadly. But this is the 442 experience, the Canadian experience, right? So
yeah. That's why we're 442, yeah. Mm-hmm. At least, unlike last week, this week we have a nice full slate of Premier League football. All right.
Okay.
And I guess we'll start with, the battle of 14th, 15th, near bottom table, big Titanic clash.
Clown car derby, they're calling it.
Clown car derby, yeah. Lovely. Mm-hmm. Two teams around. If it wasn't a different year, they would be in a relegation battle. But lucky for them, Tottenham and Man United can just hang around there and be the clown cars they are.
I had to look at the table after yesterday's game because United are 15th now, and just like, is it possible? Like, I was just checking.
I check all the time. Yeah,
they're 10 points ahead of Wolves. I mean. It's not possible.
It's not possible.
My feeling is that Wolves are better than Man United. That's my feeling. Like, watching this season, I think Wolves beat Man United, didn't they? Cunha scored from a corner.
He did score from a corner. Like, yeah.
How have they accumulated points? Honestly, like when I watch these guys, this was actually one of their better performances. That's the funny thing. And they were still shit, but
they had Victor Lindelof and 7 other academy never made appearance people on the bench, and Victor Lindelof did not come on. Everybody made one sub, and it was someone else.
Chidiobi Martin with 3 minutes left. Yeah.
Okay, that was the one sub they made. Yeah. This team is a little injury ridden. And they do not have. Remember Ahmad midweek? He said something that he's out for the season, I think.
Yeah, or maybe not. For the season. I think he is out for the season. By the way, lots of hamstring tears of late. Lots of fatigue injuries. Like, we've been seeing ACLs early in the season. Now it's hamstring tears. Like, this sport is starting, especially, I was going to say in the Premier League, but I think just in general, like, the sport is really starting to eat itself because the quality on show is not as great. And how can it be when they're so exhausted? And you and City have the Club World Cup in the summer, which is a proper tournament. It's not like before where you play 2 games.
Yeah, it's a full slate.
It's a full slate, so good luck. But
you said an article about just given the fact that the game is more intense now and players are making more runs and all this, and that's kind of been a contributor to this hamstring injury crisis that's been going around.
Yeah.
And hamstring injuries, thankfully for me, I've never really had one.
You were a sprinter.
Yeah, so I never really issued that.
I've had a couple. I didn't have many, thankfully. I had a couple within 2 weeks of each other. So like, yeah, I played, ill-advised. I played with a hamstring string, and then I pulled the other hamstring.
Because you're compensating a little
exactly.
bit.
So, yeah, but they were both grade ones, minor. I was still young, easy recovery.
Nice.
But yeah, getting back to bashing my United, which is why we're here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, Amorim.
Regretting your move there, buddy?
There is regretting a move, and there's also what are you doing, right? Like, he has been saying since he arrived, I am not going to change. And I feel like now, because he's been saying I'm not going to change, now he cannot change, because if it does, he looks like he's weak. But this is crazy. Like, we're at the point now where we're back to Casemiro in midfield, where, like, we're playing players who cannot cover ground in midfield. It doesn't make sense. Defensively, they're so open. And even on the ball, like, they created chances, by the way. Apparently, Garnacho has not scored a Premier League goal since November.
I mean, the chance he missed, I can see why. Like, when you put it over the bar from the 6-yard box, pretty much, like, I think he's missed the most big chances in the league. But yeah, I mean, United it was great for Spurs because like they could just run through that midfield. And they were having, in the first half, at least they were having a field day in terms of getting some chances in. I think it was Maddison who picked up a rebound to get the goal.
Yeah. Did you see his post on
Roy Keane? I saw what Roy Keane said. He's like, Maddison. He's like saying like, oh, he's back. Oh, and the Spurs team would not be like jumping for joy to see Maddison. Like, wait, who is he? I mean, he kind of ripped into him a bit. I get it. It's James Maddison. He's not like a prolific, high world class player.
Yeah.
It's a bit harsh. On the guy, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh, but I think his general point is, what has Maddison achieved? It's just, it's not like Spurs don't really have a squad full of people who have done something in the game. You know what I mean? Like so I think that's his general point. But anyway, Spurs was still pretty open, as you'd expect. Because Man United had a lot of chances. I thought Xerxes had one of his best games, actually. He was pretty good in that 10 row behind Højlund, picking up the ball, running, well, not running, but like getting past people. Rasmus Højlund continues to be...
what happened? I guess not happened, but what's going on?
He's been terrible since he arrived.
Yeah.
Like, he just can't... There was a chance he had... No, there was a chance Garnacho had where Højlund is asking for the pass, but he's late because he makes the run. He recognizes the run he's supposed to make late. So it's not like it's a slam dunk for Garnacho to play that pass across. His movement's just really poor. I don't know. It's like he's never been educated properly on how to be a striker. I don't know. And he's not good at hold up. He's big and he's got some speed, but I don't know. I've
only ever seen moments from him where he's shown where he's like, okay, look, there's something there. I don't know.
Short moments, man. So I know go short moments. Like,
because you can argue that, right? Every player has short moments. I look at her and I'm just like, I mean, hey, maybe if this guy was to be loaned out and leaves to another club, maybe he shines like we've seen from other players. I don't know. Maybe it's just here, but I'm not impressed at all with Højlund at all. With the money that they paid for him.
It's been a bad signing. I think he has 2 Premier League goals, which, I mean, this season. Yeah, well, how many games in? We're 25 games in, like.
Yeah, and then you look at like United in terms of their goals that they've scored. What is it, 29? I'm gonna 28. So West Ham, pretty much Everton, who don't score goals, have the same amount of goals as United. Like, this team is so goal shy. It's just, for me, it's wild to see how far a team like this has fallen and just how mediocre this squad is. Like it's a good thing that Uzair is gone right now, right? This is rough. This is rough to watch.
Do you think that Amorim should be keeping his job?
I mean, I remember you said it like a month into his term. You're like, this guy may not be here at the end of the season.
Yeah,
and I was like, nah, no chance. And then you see they're getting worse. They're worse now in like all departments from Ten Hag.
Yeah. Which is
he's
crazy.
doing the same. He's doing the same thing that we've been bashing Ange for doing. Is for playing the same style of football and not adjusting, not changing shape, not doing anything, being very stubborn. This is how I play.
Have you ever seen a manager ever that plays one formation? Have you ever seen a manager that does this? I've never seen it. Even Conte arrived at Chelsea and said, "You guys are used to playing 4 at the back. I'm going to give that a go." Right?
Yeah, and they changed
and then
after.
It didn't work, and they said, "Okay, now we're going to do things my way. We're going to play 3 at the back," and then picks up form, gains unbelievable momentum, wins the Premier League. No one's saying that's going to happen to Man United. It's not. But you cannot have one trick. Like, you cannot have one thing, or like, it's a formation. It doesn't. Your philosophy is not about your formation. You can play 3-5-2, you can play 4-4-2, you can play 4-3-3. You should still have the same core principles. I do not know what his core principles are right now, except you have 3 defenders, 4 midfielders, 3 attackers. That's not a principle. That's FIFA. Like, I don't know what he inverts the center back into midfield in build up. I don't get why. Because it defeats the purpose of having a 4-3-3, 3-4-3 in build-up. You're supposed to have 4 back there with the keeper. He takes that away. It's suboptimal. It makes it difficult to play out, so they're easy to press. And then when they're pressing, because they're pressing in the same system, there's always a fullback high and open, right? I think on this day it was Jet Spence. He was just easy to get the ball to over and over. This is weird because they've made it impossible now to assess him properly by spending all that money on Ten Hag in the summer, which was ill-advised. And now with Amorim, he's not going to get money. They don't have the financial leeway to spend, and they don't have sellable assets anymore.
That's the biggest problem. They need to gut the squad, and how are they going to sell them?
Maybe you get 30 million for Højlund. I don't know who would buy him for 30 million.
After spending, 70? Was it 70 something?
70 or 72 or something.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the squad, the team, the club is just in such a bad place. It's rotten.
You know what's not helping? Marcus Rashford. He looked fantastic on his first game back. And then you see Anthony just tearing it up, albeit in a different league, but like, it shows they have qualities that perhaps a coach can get those qualities out of these players. And I don't know one player who has improved under Amorim, like whose performances have gone better since he got
Ahmad
there.
was the only one.
Okay.
And now he's injured. Yeah.
Fair point. Ahmad was the only one. And now, he's out for the season. So what? Are they going to, let's say they lose their next 4 games. I don't know who they're playing, but let's say they lose their next 4 games.
Doesn't matter,
All right? And Wolves manage to pick up, or whoever's because West Ham can pick up some points. No, I'm just saying, let's say they're now 4 points above the relegation zone.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, man.
Well, do you keep it?
No.
That's my question.
Oh, you mean do you keep Amorim or not? Yeah. I mean, can they afford to not to sack up? Can they even afford it at this point?
4 points above the relegation zone. I can see them pulling the trigger.
They're not. There's no chances they're going to be any relegation battle. We know that. Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton, they're gone. All right, it's just a matter of will they finish 17th? Can Wolves catch up? That's the only thing. Yeah, listen, it's sad watching. It's for any United fan out there. It's definitely sad watching. Like, what do you look forward to? You don't look forward to next week's football.
They don't watch the games, man.
It's like
they have it on in the background, and then they go do like chores and stuff.
There's only Europa League. At least they're doing decent Europa League. And okay, we'll watch football on Thursdays. That's it. That's all you got.
In my football watching time, like of the big clubs, like the clubs we associate as big clubs. I'm not talking like Leeds were once a big-ish club, but like of the clubs that have won the Premier League or consider themselves to be title contenders, this is the worst team I've ever seen in my life. Like, the worst. I've never seen a team like this. Chelsea were down bad at one point. They still finished like 10th, I think, under Mourinho, right? Arsenal were down bad at one point. They still finished like 8th, I want to say. Like, Man United could finish 17th. It's very, like, it would be a miracle, but it could finish 16th. Let's say 16th. Right. That's very feasible. Yeah. How lucky are they that they beat West Ham recently, am I right? Or
I think so, yeah. I honestly, who did they have 8 wins, and I don't know who they beat. Let's be honest. It's crazy, yeah. But you know, it's enough about. What?
Did they beat you guys?
I think we drew. But if they beat us, I wouldn't be surprised. But that's when we change subject. When you see who did United beat you? No. We don't talk about that. What we do talk about is let's just go to Arsenal, because they got a win away from home at Leicester 2-0, and it was a very I wouldn't say
functional, poor performance. Like, I watched this game. It was the early morning kickoff, so I was able to watch it live. I have to say, my opinion of Raheem Sterling's footballing ability in general has really reduced. Like, it now looks like he was just fast and had good movement. But no, fine. It now looks like he was just fast because he's lost his speed. Okay. Now he can't do anything. Like, his movement sucks. He was offside all the time. The kind of offside that's like, okay, I've lost a yard of pace or 5 yards of pace, so now I want to cheat so that I can, get beyond my fullback. Passing was atrocious. He's not scoring goals. Like, he is a contender for the worst signing Arsenal have ever made. Legit. And we signed some real bums in our time. Raheem Sterling might be the worst. Like, he's worse than Willian. I'm not even joking. He is worse than Willian. That's a bar right there. Willian got some assists for us in the Premier League. Didn't score until like his last game or something. But like, I was watching this game and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, I don't know how we're going to score. Legit. I was like, I don't know how we're going to score with the guys on the pitch. Trossard was trying to link with Sterling. Trossard had a bad game in the false 9 role. Ethan Nwaneri was our only hope. He was the one. He hit the post. He hit the crossbar. He was driving. Like, every time he got the ball, like, they were terrified of him. And midweek there were reports about Marino being identified as an auxiliary striker. He comes on and. The Kai Havertz, the Fellaini arc, there you go. It's Marino at the back post, big header. And,
nice header, really good.
Yeah.
And that was a Trossard for the cross, I believe, for a second goal, right?
Really
hey, listen.
Nice near post, far post finish, first time.
They need someone like that to step up and get goals when you have no one else. And that's...
You know what the problem is now? Because... Marino now, let's say you make him the starter up front. It's not going to work every week. There are going to be a lot of times it's not going to work. Who do you turn to on the bench? Because the thing with this game is, the whole time Marino was on the bench, I'm like, we can bring Marino on to change the dynamic. Because he's a box crasher. I know he's a box crasher. That was kind of the vision I had for him playing the left 8. But it seems just been so dysfunctional this season that it hasn't worked out. And he's been poor. That's like, he had a very disjointed preseason. He's looked poor. Hopefully now, with that break, he, Havertz, very similar last season, started clicking in the left 8, then went up top. We need something like that from Marino. But on a day that Marino doesn't work, that's just going to happen. Who do we turn to? There is nobody. It's a is nobody.
I'm looking at the bench. Zinchenko, Kivior, Ben White, who's just back from injury.
It's got to be Tierney.
Calafiori, Tierney.
It's got to be Tierney. It's got to be
all
Tierney
defenders.
It's got to be Tierney left wing, man.
Yeah. Jorginho is still around, who came on as well, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I'm just looking at Arsenal. I'm like, okay, so Havertz out for the season. Martinelli is just a more short term, I think, right?
Well, 4 to 6 weeks. So.
Yeah, still sucks. I look at Arsenal. We will talk about Liverpool, but we see Liverpool. Let's say imagine Liverpool stutter, and they did against Everton midweek. Everton got a late draw, which was a game of the season, I think, for me so far. That was a really great game.
It was a proper Barclays game. Yeah, none of this nonsense pattern of play. Now get the ball forward, both teams. Yeah, that was really good. And then
got heated. Yeah, lovely to see some red cards thrown about. I'm just wondering, like, you look at this because you saw Arsenal sign no one in January, almost giving away this season, like saying, "Oh yeah, like we're not going to win it." Imagine Liverpool falters, and then Arsenal had this chance, and they could not find a goal scorer. And the league title was right there. That is going to sting. That's going to really sting.
It is very... If Arsenal were 5th, right? If they were 5th or 6th and in danger of not making the Champions League, they'd have signed Ollie Watkins. They'd have paid the extra 20 million to get Ollie Watkins because that affects the bottom line, right? Mm-hmm. Being in the Champions League, you get that financial boon. The Premier, it just shows they're not serious enough about winning. Because when you have a small squad, right, and you have a lot of injuries, what ends up happening is you overburden the players who are available, so then they get injured. So there was no how. People have been bashing Havertz for weeks. I rarely bash Havertz on this pod because I recognize how much load he's carrying, right? No rotation. One, because Jesus sucks. And two, now he's injured. So he's had little to no rotation. He was sick. By the way, Odegaard, have you seen his face recently? Like, he was sick. He looks like he's lost a lot of weight. A lot. Right? Havertz has always been a bit, like, skinny, skin on bones.
Little gaunt.
But he's a long-distance runner. And he's never had any injury history. So I think Arsenal gambled that he's not going to have any long-term injury. And it's like, okay, look, now you've actually managed to break the guy. We did something similar with Koscielny when he was with us, where we just overburdened him. He was making mistakes, and I was looking at him. I'm like, this guy's limping through games. He's going to break down. What happens? Tears his Achilles. Misses the World Cup. Like, I don't understand how clubs do this. Like, you can see a situation where if something goes wrong, it can be catastrophic for your squad. And you just decide, nothing's going to go wrong. We're going to ride it out. And then look, now we're with Mikel Merino playing center forward for Arsenal Football Club.
It's they put themselves in that situation. They're only ones to blame. Yes, for that,
And we have to go for the league. Like, we're not going to win the league, but you have to go for it because this is Arsenal Football Club. You can't be throwing away seasons. And Liverpool are stuttering, right? They are stuttering. They're going to win the league, don't get me wrong, because they don't really have competition this year. But they look exhausted. Like, we might as well, like...
let's talk about that game. 2-1 over Wolves.
Yeah.
And besides the first half, where they got 2 goals, 1 penalty, and the first goal, was it Diaz?
Just bundled it in.
Something like that, yeah. Second half, they were
atrocious.
Terrible. Yeah. No shots on target.
No shots.
No shots in general.
Yeah.
Okay. They got the win.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They got the win, and this is why they're winning the league, because they were terrible and they still won. That's what teams do.
I agree. I think they've had the rub of the green a lot this season, but they're going to win the league because Mo Salah is just an incredible... Like, in the second half, he had 1 goal that was just... It was offside.
Yes.
It was so inevitable the moment he was in that situation. He's the only player I can think of has been in similar form, but his form has tailed off a little bit, is Isaac. But Salah, since the start of the season, has been in that form where there are situations you put him in, you're like, this is going in the net, right? And he's just carrying them. He creates the first goal, even if I don't think it goes as an assist.
No.
Scores the penalty for the second. He feels pretty inevitable. But if anything happened to him, for instance, I don't know who else is going to carry the load for Liverpool, right? Like, that's the dynamics of the season. You know what I mean? Like, Van Dijk and Salah have been incredible this season. And they're going to carry Liverpool to a title, which both of them, including Trent, have not signed contracts. What a weird situation.
Yeah, we haven't heard much going on that end
no talk,
at all.
No nothing. Yeah,
it's been very quiet because Salah usually was very vocal in his post-match press conference, saying, "Yep, nothing coming my way." But I don't think he said anything recently.
No, I think they're zoned in. They're zeroed in on the.
They're ready
title,
to win the title. Yeah.
There wasn't a report that Salah had agreed to move to Saudi. I don't know how true that is. This was a while ago. I mean, he would be a king there. I'll tell you that much. Like,
if he would.
Odd, but I don't know what you do if you're Liverpool. Can you let Salah go? But at the same time, should you be re-signing him for 3 years?
We've had this discussion. I still think I know how important Salah's been. They still have more attacking depth than any other team right now.
So you let Salah go?
No. I'm just saying. Say Salah gets injured for a month, I'm not too worried about Liverpool. You know what I mean? I still think they will have goal scorers there.
I watched these attackers you're talking about lose to Plymouth. Like scoring.
Jota, Diaz, Darwin, they all had a bit of a stint in there. Yeah. Speaking of Jota, freaking stupid dive in this game and nothing comes from it.
They don't book players for diving anymore.
They don't do that anymore. Like, I don't get it.
Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah. Liverpool, I mean, this is a big 2 to 3 weeks for them. I think they have like 5 games in 15 days because they're playing midweek every week for the next 2 or 3 weeks. They play Villa away next. I fancy them to... I don't know. That's a tough one. It's difficult to say. I'd expect them to beat Villa. But Villa, they're fresher in the sense like... They got Ollie Watkins in, they got Daniel Mellon in, they're a bit rejuvenated.
Tony, they can't beat Ipswich. They can't beat Ipswich. I'm sorry. I don't rate their chances.
They look like they were going to lose that game, and they were able to bring someone on to make a difference, right? Like Rashford, he had 65 touches in the second half. That's crazy. Like,
listen, he looked on it, but Ipswich were down to 10 men in the first leg.
It was not great.
Villa is not the team that's going to upset Liverpool. I don't think. But it's City in the weekend for Liverpool.
I don't know why I feel like Villa are more likely than City. Is City at home or away?
I don't. City is... No, I have no idea. No, City's at home. Yes, City's at home. Okay.
Okay, maybe. Haaland did go off injured.
They played Newcastle the week after that, and then
is that the cup? The cup final?
No, in the league. They played Newcastle.
I mean,
after City. So it's a tough little stretch for sure. It's a tough stretch. We'll know more about no more. We know the teams that they're going to win the league.
Speaking of Newcastle. They rolled over this weekend. I feel like Newcastle have this thing for City where they're like the little brother of the Arab nations. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't remember City losing to Newcastle. They've had a few draws, but there have been games where Newcastle was supposed to win, and they always find a way to fuck it up against. Newcastle were meant to win, and they fuck it up against City. I don't know. Like, they have some kind of hold on them. This game was weird. They were terrible. Like, normally you associate intensity with Newcastle, and they just looked lackluster.
I'm just thinking with the goal from the pass from Ederson, just straight down the middle.
Trippier. Oh my God.
But it's like, what? Why is the defense of Newcastle so spread out? Why?
I think they followed. They followed Haaland in. Marmoush ran in behind, and Trippier.
He just ran simple play.
He chose to stay with his man instead of playing him offside. Right? I don't think that was a goal kick, was it?
No, Ederson just kind of walked it into the middle. Yeah,
he would have been offside if But you want to follow him in, that's fine. You can't lose that battle. You have to win that ball. You can't let that ball bounce. Yeah. And Trippier is just, I don't know. I think I think he's finished personally, but
I mean, he's like already 30-something, and there was talks of him.
34.
Yeah, talks of him was leaving in the summer already. So, Newcastle, this was they've been an odd side. They started off crap, then they kind of, when Isak was back in like that crazy form, they were winning games. And then now they've kind of faltered again.
I think it's all in the cup final for them. They're a club that they're filled with players who pick and choose when they play, when they perform. So when the nation is watching and it's a big game, so like a cup final or a semi-final, or they play Arsenal or they play Liverpool, like in the heated moment, like they perform. Yeah. And it's like, City away, who cares? Like they have that attitude to me. They don't play the same way every week. I mean, we haven't even mentioned Marmoush. He looks like different gravy, man. That's a signing. It's been a while since a team has made a signing that I'm really jealous of. That is a signing that I'm really jealous of. Like, I was talking about Marmoush in October as being someone that a club needs to snap up, and fortunately, it's City.
I just didn't think anyone was going to take him in January. Because he was when the Bundesliga was doing really well. But who did City play last week? Was it? It was Arsenal, right?
Yeah,
they got transferred. Honestly, even in that game, like I was just like, I know he was having to drop and he wasn't getting much support. Just like his quality, even his touches, you could just see like this guy has a lot of great technical ability. And then now he's already got a hat trick in.
And one thing with him, unlike any other player in the squad apart from Haaland, he will run in behind. City haven't had any other player who runs in behind, right? Like, you think of Julian Alvarez, they lost that. Sane, Sterling, Jesus, like, they had forwards, natural forwards who wanted to get in the box and score. Yeah. They lost all their forwards. They only had Haaland, because Doku's not a forward, as far as I'm concerned. Savinho, he's not a forward. He's trying to develop into one, but right now he's still like a provider type of winger. Grealish certainly isn't a forward. I guess Foden is, but I don't think Foden's very good. I've always said that. Marmoush, I mean, quality hat trick. 3 quality finishes. Yeah, he's the Egyptian prince, and he's going to take over the king when Salah decides to leave at some point.
And City have taken over 4th place for the time being with that win.
For the time being, you're going to take it back.
No. Chelsea's not taking it back because I was hoping we were going to avoid this one. But it's a Friday game. I was hoping we got exempt. We only talk about weekend matches, and we didn't have a Monday one. But I guess we'll talk about it now. Brighton slapping us up 3-0.
After slapping you 2-1 the week before.
After taking us out of FA Cup, right?
FA Cup, yeah.
FA Cup. I will just say Mitoma has a magic foot after that touch that he had for his goal. That was an unreal touch to set up his finish. It was beautiful. Apart from that, we suck. I believe we had 0 shots, if I'm correct, in this game.
So you mean 0 shots on target?
Like 0 shots on target, I meant to say. 0 shots on target in this game.
I don't remember.
Let me see here.
Pretty sure 0 shots on target. Yes, 8 shots, 0 on target.
0 on target. Yeah, that sounds right. And Cuckoo hasn't had a shot on target in 5 or 6 games that he's played. So it's time. I've lost hope in that.
I told you, man. He's not a striker. He's not a striker. Yeah.
Palmer he's got to be one frustrated figure, I got to say, because I was seeing a stat where he's really since like December, he's in the top 5 of like most created chances in like the top. I don't think just Premier League. I think just thinking overall top 3 leagues.
But he doesn't create big chances, so
zero.
Yeah,
0 to show for it.
Yeah,
0.
I don't know, man. Your squad is weird because like you have a lot of 7 out of 10 players. You have one elite attack player. You have one elite player in the squad. Like if we're calling Palmer elite, he still has a lot to prove. But let's say Palmer's elite. Like I think Neto has 2 goals. Sancho
Neto he's been Sancho. Oh
yeah, like
man,
it's just a lot of meh in the team. Yeah, it's a lot of meh. Like we've been talking about Neto as one to really get excited about. He's fast. He's very fast, but he plays like a fullback. Like I've always had this thing in my head that like he's a very straight line runner. You know what I mean? Like there's no ingenuity in his play. But I was wondering if in a better team he could show something more because he used to create a lot in that kind of like wing back role at Wolves. But I look at him, I'm like, maybe you're just a wing back and you're, parading as a winger because I watch him, he stays in the same zone, he doesn't move off the ball and he just crosses it in. Who's he crossing it in for? Like Jackson's not even there anymore. And it's not like he's elite in the air. And Palmer's not going to get on anything. God knows when Kunku's not going to get on anything. Sancho, Madueke, like...
No, these guys are not jumping into the box for a header.
They're not even competing, man. They're like, why are you crossing? They're literally telling you, why are you crossing?
I mean, at the same time, like, we can shit on the players, but, like, it's time to also shit on the coach, who... I'm sorry, he hasn't changed. We've won 2 games in 10, 2 of 10 we've won, I think. Terrible spell. He hasn't changed one bit.
What do you want him to change?
I mean, like we talk about Amarim not having any tactical flexibility.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not getting any tactical flexibility from Enzo either. You know what I mean?
I hear you, yeah.
Like Maresca's gotta do something different when it's not working.
So you mean like a different system?
Different system. Change something like just like if it's not
like
working.
There was a
let's
period
change
where
it up.
He was playing Caicedo as a Lavia is injured, isn't he?
Yeah, Lavia.
He was playing Caicedo as a right back, an inverted fullback.
Yes.
To give you that platform for Fernandes to get forward and join the attack, but that's gone because Lavia's hamstrings or ligaments are made of spaghetti. Your defense sucks, and I include Caldwell in that. I don't think he's.
I'm on board after the last few games. He has been atrocious, giving the ball away. No hut, honestly, the defense sucks. Yeah. We don't have any forwards that score.
You know what I think Chelsea really lacks? I think you just lack adults. There is 0 experience in your team. I'm looking at the team now. I'm like, the most experienced player is maybe Reece James, and he's not even on the pitch. Like, there's no one that I can say has been there, like been in a title challenge, been in a top 4 race, really stuck. There's no one who's achieved anything in your team except Fernandes, who's won the World Cup, and God knows Fernandes ain't a leader. Like.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've said it before. Like in terms of, I was saying an age. You know what I mean? Like you look at the age factor. Like there's no real experience there because the oldest player is like 26.
Yeah.
And then when you put it in terms of like experience of like what you've won.
Yeah.
No one's won anything.
No one's competed for anything. Not even maybe Nkunku, but.
Even then, I'm sorry, that's not enough. So like that's gotta reverberate for the squad. They don't know how to. They don't know how to really up that next level and compete. Like
you're talking the owners or the players now?
I'm talking about the players, but we'll find out. We'll see where we are at the end of the season. Like if we're not in Champions League spot, it's like what do you do now? Where do you go? What's the plan? Right. You know what I mean? Because they said 2 years ago the plan was, we need another window and then we're going to be where we're at. Well, this is where we're at now. After all those windows you talked about. We're the same mediocre squad. We have a lot of players who are sure they have some potential to get better. but at the same time, they're still meh players. You know, where's our elite talent besides Palmer? I mean, I put Caicedo in there too because generally he's been really, really good. But
I thought he was bad in this game. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but this game, no, I'm not saying this game, but just overall this season, you know, Palmer and Caicedo. You know, that's been about it. Some players have had their moments. You know, Sancho's had a game where he's looked good, but hasn't been good since. And then you can handpick every player. It just, honestly, is back to being depressing mode. I think we're 6th now because, Bournemouth's above us. Better goal differential. And they look like a better team. Well, better coached, better everything at the moment.
Well, they look like they have players who can put the ball in the back of the net. You don't. Like,
we don't, yeah.
I mean, we haven't spoken about Brighton. Minter, he looked really good. He was my one to watch at the start of the season, and he's had a very indifferent season. But of late, the past month, he's looked like he's started to settle. And Cucurella had a long day, man. He had a long day. He was spun around for both his goals. They could have, honestly, Brighton could have more in this game.
3-0 is generous for us.
I think Ruto will be disappointed not to score. He had a couple of chances. But it is what it is. Chelsea kind of stuttering. All on Champions League, now getting Champions League and the Conference League. But who cares about the Conference?
That's the Conference League. That's what we're playing for.
What could happen is if you don't win the Conference League, you could easily be in the Conference League next season, which is what you don't want. Yeah.
Hey, with Anthony at Betis now, and Betis is in the Conference League, they could one up us there. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees.
Oh, God.
So that was a big Friday night massacre on that end. In terms of other matches here and there, I know Everton got a late win over
Crystal Palace.
Palace.
2-1.
2-1. And Moyes has just been doing a fantastic job with that team since he got in.
Beto's been looking good recently. He was one that I thought would catch fire earlier because I thought he'd suit that club. But I've been listening to some of his interviews lately. It seems he was not a fan of Daesh. He hasn't come out and said it, but he's really emphasized we are playing good football now. Good football. He seemed to really hate what was going on with Sean Dyche. I mean, David Moyes bringing the good football to Goodison is hilarious. But I think they were trying to use Beto as a target man, and he's not. Even though he's very tall,
he is big.
Broad, he's like Lukaku in that he wants to run in behind and get those. He's very quick and good finish. That was not an easy. It was not as easy a chance as it looked, but he got the timing right to poke it past the keeper. So. I've been impressed. They've got more open play goals under Moyes in this 4, 5, 6 games than they had under Dyche the whole season. So hats off to them. And I guess we talked about the tie against Liverpool midweek, which was a fantastic game. Good finish. He just fits that club, man. Moyes. I mean, he's taken them to their best ever Premier League finish, right? This is a guy that knows the club, knows the city. He's an Evertonian. I know he's a Scotsman, but I don't know if he's an Everton legend. I don't know if you can say that, but
why not?
I feel they don't have much.
Enough. They don't have. What have they achieved as a club
before? Maybe he is a legend.
I would say so.
I don't know, but he's definitely an icon at the club. Someone that has. That you associate with Everton. So, always felt like a good fit. We'll see where that takes them. Where are they in the table now? They're in the top 10?
I think they're right above United.
14.
They're right above United.
That shows you how bad they were before. They've been in form and they're just 14th. That's crazy.
Exactly. One of the more informed teams in the league. And then midweek we have again Villa and Liverpool midweek. I don't think there's
for them.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Uzi's not.
But we can't because this is like here our standings.
We can ask for his.
We can. We can. Okay.
So,
well, we'll ask for his, and then we'll get yours right now.
Yeah. Villa's at home, I think. If they're not, if they are at home, okay.
Yes.
Emery is going to sit in and try and hit them on the break, and I think they have the players to hit Liverpool on the break. So I'm going to go with I don't know. I keep wanting to say a draw, but I keep thinking a 2-1 Villa. I don't know why. And yeah, and I think Rashford scores. It's crazy, but I feel like Emery might bring back the 2 strikers on this day. So I give Konate and Van Dijk problems. I'm gonna go 2-1 Villa because I can't get the result out of my head. My head, it's funny enough, my head says 2-1. My heart is saying 1-1 or 2-2. But my head's saying 2-1. I'm going 2-1.
Stick with that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go. I think Liverpool will drop points as a tie though, 2-2.
Oh, I thought you were like confident they were gonna win Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it a bit more, I don't think they'll lose, but I think will drop points just to tease Arsenal a bit, a bit more.
Yeah, and then we're going to drop points against West Ham on Saturday or Sunday whenever we're playing because Miguel Merino doesn't finish all his chances. So,
yeah. I mean, I guess is there any other footballing news that we didn't talk about
in the Premier League? I mean,
just overall and around the world, Europe, whatever.
I mean, there were some good games this week. Juventus Inter was a big one. I think what's his face, Thiago Motta. He really needed that result. Yeah, because they've been struggling, Juventus. They're not a fan of him over there, but
no, but they got who this striker they signed for PSG.
He's been good,
Colomani. Yeah, he's been good. He's been good for us.
Yeah, he won. He assisted the goal. The way he created
the assist
that
is
goal
something you gotta watch.
It's crazy. Yeah, funny enough, people were avoiding Colomani like the plague, man. No one wanted to touch him, and now he's gone there, and he's looked fantastic.
Yeah. Did I not say Arsenal should have looked into this guy?
You
potentially?
Did. I mean, listen, there are so many attackers that moved this window. Arsenal are telling us there were no options. I'm like, okay, if you say so. I'm seeing Kvaratskhelia move. I'm seeing Colomani move. I've seen Rashford move. I've seen Marmoush move. Like, keep gaslighting us. Saying we're so focused on Benjamin Sesko. Watch Benjamin Sesko go to Bayern after Kane decides he wants to go back to Tottenham or something stupid like that.
Yeah. Well, like you said, there was big games, and one of them was Kane's Bayern and against Leverkusen. I guess that one was 0-0, but all Leverkusen, they just couldn't get the win.
Yeah, because they were like battered. Like if you watch this one, the misses are unbelievable from Leverkusen. Felt like they choked a bit. If it was last season, they'd have won for sure. Like they just don't have the momentum this season. But so a big result keeps the. I think we checked. It was 8 points.
8 points right now. Yeah.
55.
So Kane's potential title is getting close.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite part of the weekend, or the moment of the weekend, was so Jude Bellingham got a red card in the Madrid's match this weekend, and there's a bit of confusion over how he got it. And apparently, the ref was saying, "You told me to fuck you," and no, he was saying, "No, I said fuck off."
And I was like, "Are either of them?"
Is it any better?
Yeah, I mean, it is better culturally, but like, first of all, if it's a Spanish referee, he might not know the difference. Maybe I'm being a bit insane. But if English is not my first language and I hear fuck, you're saying like, I'm just gonna give you a red card because you're being disrespectful. I don't know, maybe he speaks perfect English and he's just like, you know what? Because Jude is a prick. Like
he complains to refs a lot.
He doesn't complain. He berates them. Like,
right.
Yeah, he really for 90 minutes he's giving it to them. Sometimes even off the pitch as well. He's got history. So yeah, I'm sure referees they will take any opportunity to send him off.
This moment reminded me. In my playing career, I've gotten one red card.
Really?
Ever.
Wow,
I didn't. This reminded me of this instance. So what happened was it was on the touchline, and I kicked the ball, went off someone. We were losing the game, late in the game, right? And it went off the other player, and the ref signals the other way.
Classic.
And I was like, no. I pointed at the opponent. No, off you. The linesman thought it said,
fuck you.
Yeah. So the ref comes, pings the ref over, says, okay, red card. But I swear, I just said off you to the end, and the ref thought I said, oh, you. Suspended 3 games, and suspended for the playoffs, because that was the last game of the regular season. So I missed 3 games, missed all the playoffs.
When was this?
This was like, I was probably like 17, early playing career. Only red card I ever got in my life. And it was a mistake.
So, I was going to say, the reason I asked is because, referees they did not like us. Let's just put it that way. We've had our run-ins with referees. We were a pretty passionate team. So I was wondering if you had built up a reputation for being difficult and then the ref sent you off. But this is before all that, so...
This is before that, No. The refs like me now. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Only red card ever, and that's a misunderstanding.
I have somehow escaped without ever getting sent off.
Never got it right,
I've said some stuff on the field.
I'm going to say, with you and refs, I'm surprised.
I've gotten close. I've had some challenges where I was on the edge, and I just realized at the last minute, but somehow I've escaped. Touch wood. No red card.
Lucky boy too with that ref bashing history of yours.
We had some exchanges. I wouldn't call it bashing. Even yesterday, I had a moment with a referee. I was just like, oh my god! Like I had to calm myself. Like you're a coach now. You're not a player. People are watching.
You can't go. Can't do that.
Yeah. Just breathing exercises. Referees are tough, man. Like we need them, but Jesus Christ, like open your eyes, man. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I think we will sign it off. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for joining me, Tony.
Yeah, pleasure as always.
And we'll get Uzaire's prediction, and maybe we'll see him next week, or maybe he sees United results and says, nah, I think I'm going to stay away for the rest of it. I think I'm going to extend this break for a little bit longer. Yeah.
If we don't have Uzi next week, I'm bringing in Robo Uzi, man. We need...
we'll get
the United correspondence.
Yeah. And maybe all of them would just leave us on red. You know what I mean? We send them the message, all those United fans. Anyways, follow us, guys, on your Instagram, social medias, Blue Sky, podcast, wherever. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Take care.